Onondaga County voting machine replacement and on-demand project. We're very excited to have you here. This has been 2 years worth of work to get to this point today. We wouldn't be here without our friends in the Onondaga County Legislature and the New York State Legislature that made funds available for this project, and the bulk of this coming from the Onondaga County Capital Improvement Project. So thank you for allowing us to do this. This is our plan to change over all of our precinct scanners, so the scanners that the voters see, the ballot marking devices for handicap accessible voting, and on-demand ballot printing will be going to every polling site this November. So yes, just 3 months away now. So we're kind of in a sprint here to get this done. All of this was just approved just a couple weeks ago by the state board. So there's been a lot of work, and we're pulling it all together to get this done. And we couldn't do it without the staff of the Onondaga County Board of Elections as well, pulling in a lot of time to get this done over the next few weeks and also over the last month. So we got a little presentation here for you to just kind of go through everything, and away we go. Michelle will start off with the history of voting machines in Onondaga County.
Yeah, just a little history. So from 1910 to 2008, we had 11 machines. The old machines, which is probably from 1910 and earlier, and then our old lever machines that we used to use. We had a countywide in 2002. The Help America Vote Act mandated a change to voting machines to provide accessibility to all voters. In 2007, the New York State Board of Elections certified systems that required hand-marked paper ballots, which are old Dominion machines. And then in 2008, we did a full countywide deployment with all the new voting machines.
So that's our little museum over there of the ghosts of elections past. We're going to actually keep that stuff in the corner of the training room over here to just kind of keep it on display. It's kind of neat. And that little ballot box that's over there, that's probably older than 1910. That was before they had tabulating machines. That little ballot box is what they would put the paper ballots in, and they would hand count them after every election. So in 2019 was really kind of how things really started to change in Onondaga County with the advent of electronic poll books and on-demand ballot printing because of the deployment of early voting in New York. So in January of 2019, the New York State Legislature adopted early voting. In April of 2019, the New York State Legislature allowed for electronic poll books and ballot on-demand printers. And using a combination of federal HAVA funds and New York State grants, Onondaga County contracted with KNOWiNK poll systems to bring e-poll books to every polling place and poll rates to all states' early voting sites that we had at the time. And that was a big decision. Many counties only did poll books at their early voting sites and still did the paper flips, and some of them still do. We decided to rip that Band-Aid off in Onondaga County and go to the full deployment, and it's really worked out well for us. And then we started to do on-demand printing on election day. So we started to roll out our full print units. In 2020, we put out 13 of the largest elections in 2020, or the largest polling sites in 2020. In 2021, we deployed 39. In 2022, we deployed 49 poll prints out of so about a third of our sites had on-demand into the 2022 general election. And then this last primary, we only had 78 polling sites open because not the full county was open, but all of them, for the first time, had on-demand printers, and it worked really well in the primary. And the plan is this fall, all 147 polling sites will have on-demand poll stations.
Now in 2022, Onondaga County reserved $2.9 million in capital improvement project. So this in turn, with our $500,000 that we reserved from our tier grant that we received, we were able to purchase all of the machines and also more poll prints so we could go countywide with everything. So we spent approximately $1 million in New York State federal funds on the KNOWiNK poll pads that we purchased and the poll prints.
So this is what we're going to be purchasing this year in the 2023 machine replacement and on-demand project. In addition to what we already have in stock, we are purchasing 100 KNOWiNK poll prints. That's this unit right here. We've already got 50 in, another 50 will be coming in after Labor Day. 225 of the ClearCast Go precinct scanners. That's these scanners right here that will be in every polling place and early voting site in Onondaga County. 175 of the ClearMark ballot devices. That's this machine here. If you remember on the Dominion system, the ballot on demand and the scanner was on the same unit. Now they are two separate units, which will be better for the voters because you won't have one person taking up a machine, and also this is a more visual and unit that more people will know that it's available to them. And then we're going to also upgrade to our ClearCast absentee system. ClearBallot has been doing our absentees since 2020, I think is when we moved over to that, right? Yeah, I think so. They were our audit system until from 2017 on, but they moved over to be our primary absentee system in 2020, so we're going to do upgrades to that. And then we're also going to get a new transportation van to accommodate the new equipment. The old van that we have out back is about 20 years old and it doesn't quite fit all the equipment that we have. So we have some money left over in our tier grants for that we're planning to do later on.
So for the 2023 machine replacement on-demand project, we're planning for the eventual machine replacement and on-demand balloting started in 21. To build the on-demand poll prints started in 21 and 22. 50 additional poll prints will be purchased since February 2023 on the New York State tier funding. Informational demonstrations and meetings with potential vendors for voting machines took place through 2022. Final funding secured in October of 22 with the Onondaga County Legislature. Additional funding from the New York State came in April of 2023. March of 23, a formal RFP, which was issued to replace our cast fleet that we have, our miscast fleet that we have now. 4 vendors, which was ClearBallot, Dominion, ES&S, and Hart, submitted proposals in April of 23. All 4 vendors did formal presentations in May of 23. So in June of 23, the Onondaga County Board of Elections Commissioners, Dustin and myself, and Onondaga County, the RFP committee selected ClearBallot pending New York State of Election certification. So on August 2nd of 2023, New York State Board of Elections certified ClearBallot, the ClearBallot Go, and ClearMark systems for the use in New York State.
So now, I want to introduce the ClearBallot system. We're going to have some of the representatives from ClearBallot, and these are the machines that are new to voters in Onondaga County. We have the ClearCast Go precinct scanner, the ClearMark ballot marking device, and the ClearComp absentee processing system. Although we've had that, we're going to do upgrades. And I'd like to invite Ira and Carolyn from ClearBallot up to kind of talk about their company.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much to Onondaga County for having us for this. We're really excited to talk about the system. So first, I'll introduce myself. My name is Carolyn Weigold. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager at ClearBallot. So for a lot of folks, if you're not familiar with ClearBallot, we were founded in Boston. We manufacture our equipment in New Hampshire. So for us, it's really exciting to be in, the Northeast region. So we as a company were actually initially founded as an election auditing company. We developed a software that could read other systems' ballots. And so as Dustin mentioned, we've done work in New York in the past to do auditing as well as absentee tabulation. But after we developed that software, we realized that we had this really amazing base that offered a lot of transparency, and we thought we could turn this into a voting system. And so we built out first a vote by mail system that was used in the Pacific Northwest, and then we developed our in-person voting solution, the ClearVote system. So we're very excited to bring that in-person option here to New York. with the Clear Vote system that was just certified. And I will turn it over to Ira to talk about the system itself a little bit.
Thanks, Carolyn. I'm Ira Margulies. I'm the project manager from Clear Ballot for New York State. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the system that was just certified for voters to use in New York State. The Clear Vote system is a state-of-the-art suite of products. It starts with the ballot design system. That's going to allow county election officials to build ballots that are in a familiar format to voters while giving increased efficiency and customization options. Moving on to the equipment that you'd actually see in the polling place, most voters are going to interact with on election day. We brought in something specifically for New York State, and that is 2 machines. First is the ballot marking device for differently abled voters, and second is the optical scanner. The ClearMark BMD uses a first-of-its-kind thermal printer, which gives increased efficiency as well as reliability, while still printing out a full-faced paper ballot that looks exactly like the ballots that voters would get if they come in and sign in to vote with a pen, or were voting at home on an absentee. The ClearCast scanner is a high-speed scanner that's designed to prevent lines in the polling place, while also taking high-quality images of every ballot that's processed through it, so they can be reviewed later by election officials for accuracy. Finally, the central system here in the office that they've been using for a couple of years, as mentioned before, consists of a high-speed scanner for absentee processing, connected to some software that allows county officials to review the way that every single ballot was marked, look at those marks, and see how the system interpreted those marks into votes. It gives increased transparency to a system that previously just spit out reports and said, 5 votes for candidate A and 4 votes for candidate B. Instead, you can actually review what those marks look like and have complete confidence that your votes are being interpreted correctly. So we are very excited to be bringing this system to Onondaga County into central New York, and we look forward to having a smooth rollout of the equipment this fall. Thanks for having us.
Now we're going to do it. They've been great to work with as well. They're really prioritizing Onondaga County and other counties in central New York that are moving over that are going to try to do that this general. So I'm going to invite our staff up. We're going to do a little demonstration of what a voter will do now in Onondaga County. And Charlo is going to be our first guinea pig, and she's going to vote, starting with checking in. You can see on this screen here is what the inspectors will use the poll pads for checking in. So you get to see how they're checking in. We haven't done this in 2019. So Commissioner Sardo will present herself to Amanda, who will check her in.
Your first last name, please. Michelle.
So the inspector will look them up using their middle initials or their first 3 initials. Scroll down to get to, there she is. And then we'll ask the voter to confirm their information. So in this case, where the signature doesn't quite match, they may ask her to do an oath to make sure that they are that person. But we know Michelle, right? So we can let her vote. The poll pad will then send a signal to the poll print unit to print her ballot. A receipt will be given to the voter, who will then present it to the ballot table, and they will match the code that's on the receipt to the ballot that it prints up. That printer's warming up. It's going to come out in a second. Once the printer's warmed up, these things really start kicking out. So we did a test of our entire office voting yesterday. I think we had everybody get ballots within about 15 minutes. That's 15 different voters. So it was really popping along. So once they compare the code to the receipt, they then put the ballot in a privacy sleeve. Commissioner Sardo will then go and one of the blinds over there and vote, or this one. This is a ADA blind. Keeping her privacy. No pressure, Commissioner Sardo. So then Commissioner Sato will then present herself at the scanner and put the ballot in the green slot. You see the screen makes it very clear what she's got to do. It takes the ballot. You just got to push it in. There you go. And then once the ballot is accepted, there it is. Then the pen and privacy sleeve will be collected by the poll worker and move on. Now we're going to ask Ira to come back up here because I'm going to vote now, but I'm going to vote using the clear mark ballot device. So a voter that might want to might be unable to vote on a regular ballot or just doesn't want to vote on a regular ballot, they can vote on the clear mark device. So I will present myself and then, hi, I'm Dustin Zarki. Please call my last name.
I'll have you confirm your information to the screen. Hit accept, please.
It is.
And you'll send.
I'm a little closer. That is my actual signature. It's really, that's the Catholic schools did not do well for me. See? So then, if a voter comes to the ballot table, we have signs at the ballot table saying if they need to use a clear mark device, they just tell the poll site manager, I would like to use a clear mark device. The ballot that gets printed gets spoiled, so it's never given to the voter, and then they go over to the clear mark device right here. And say, I would like to vote on the clear mark device. Oh, I would show the receipt to the worker so they would know the code to put in. So you just, and then the worker would start the device. This would normally be turned away, so there would be complete privacy for the voter. There's instructions right here. The voter would read the instructions, hit next, and then now they would do touch screens to make their choices. I had to go with the bells. Just, you know. So then after you make the choices, it tells you what choices you made, so you can confirm, and then you hit print. And hit print again. Now, on the clear mark device, a thermal is this is a thermal ballot with a thermal roll. One of the great things about this is that it cuts off exactly what the ballot is. So if we have different sizes, there's no waste of paper. It's cut exactly to the ballot. And then they would take the privacy sleeve, bring the ballot over right to the ClearCast scanner, and put it in it. And there it is. Now, these clear mark devices have audio sessions and sip and puff controllers for the voters that are visually impaired or physically impaired, and they need help, and the system will walk them through voting. It is so much faster than the old Dominion ImageCast machines. Remember, it's a 20-year leap in technology. So the voters that wish to use this service are now, it's going to be right next to the ballot table. They're not going to have to go far. They're not going to have to move the machine around. It's right there, and it's ready to go. Oh yeah, that's the API.
And your
The sip and puffs are usually, they bring their own. But- Is this you or me? I can't remember. It's me, okay. So here's the next steps that we have going on here. Right now, some of you may have seen the truck as you were coming in. The old fleet of ImageCast machines are being destroyed. They are being taken by Sun King, which is used to dealing with sensitive electronic equipment. Per New York State guidelines, we've already removed a lot of the operating equipment in those machines as well, and we will be wiping that and destroying that equipment as well. But those machines are getting out of our warehouse now. Next week, right? Clear ballot, right? Yep. All 225 scanners and 175 BMPs will be delivered to our warehouse next week. Then on August 21st, New York State Board of Elections is coming in, and we're doing what's called acceptance testing. So we're making sure the software that is on the scanners is the software approved by New York State and operable. Then on September 5th, or August 28th, we're going to be doing training on ballot creation software, and Clear Ballot is going to be working with us to create our general election ballot for this year. So they're staying and actually walking us through. That's why we are very confident to do this changeover in between the primary and the general. And then, of course, September 5th is the delivery of the rest of our 50 poll print units, so we can have poll prints in every polling place, no matter how large or small. And here's our future demand, future problem, is it? I forgot to say, you already did it. Okay.
So the new transportation van, this is the future plan. We're looking for the new transportation van to field and service and deliver these machines if need be. And then in 2024, the generator for the Board of Elections, because in 2020 we ran out of power and shut down, so we had to do everything outside. So we need it just in case we have that emergency again. And then there will be in 2025 a Hill County Vote Center model.
Oh, so that's it. So yeah, that full county vote center model is one of the reasons why we chose this system. That is our ultimate goal. So what does that mean? If we get through 2023 and 2024, and we're able to get through that year, we're very confident that these systems can then hold every county's ballots, audio and paper ballots on them, and then in 2025, starting hopefully in the primary 2025, a voter who would like to vote will be able to go to any polling site in Onondaga County on election day. So like in the early voting where they can go to any of the 10 sites, our goal is to have all 147 polling sites on election day in 2025 be able to go. And long term, that's very convenient for the voters, but also long term, what that will mean is that we may be able to consolidate some of the smaller polling sites. We've already consolidated a lot. We've gone down from about 185 polling sites to 147 using the technology that we've gotten since 2019. We'll consolidate a little bit more, but we're also going to have better staffing inside the polling place that's more efficient for the county. So we'll now take questions, and then after questions, we're going to invite all of you to come up and use the system and vote as well. So, yes?
What is the anticipated lifespan of these? I know the last ones were 2008 to now.
Yeah.
What are you anticipating for
10
this?
years.
10 years.
10 years.
So the last ones, we really went well beyond the lifespan that it should have been done.
We kept up with all sorts of security on it, we kept up with the repairs on
Yeah.
it, so we stretched it out as long as we could.
Is there anticipated software updates with this program?
Yes,
Yes.
and one of the reasons why we chose Clear Ballot is that we've had a good, they've had a great reputation of updating their software every year with the absentee system. The past 20 years in New York, the ballot creation software has not done any non-mandated updates by the state. So we're really confident that Clear Ballot will continue to give us software updates that will keep it as fresh as possible.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, well then, our staff is here ready to check you in. Amanda and David will check you in. You don't have to wait for one of them. Please come up and let's stress test this system. If you're a voter in Onondaga County, you'll be able to vote.